Hey gang, like many of you, I started out my playing strictly in the pentatonic box. Something that really opened my playing was an easy trick I'm going to show you today, and it is so easy, there's no system required. Coming right up. When I was younger and really just starting out my blues rock improvising, I pretty much confined myself to the minor pentatonic blues box. And don't get me wrong, there's lots you can do with that. But then I went to a local battle of the bands, and there was this guy up on stage who was playing his solo all over the neck. Now, I had never seen that before. Remember, this is before the days of YouTube and even before the days of MTV. Now, I had played over the neck with written music, but never improvising to blues rock. So I really didn't know where to get started. I didn't know any scale systems, so I used this little trick to get myself started, and it totally works, and there's no system to memorize at all. I'm not saying that learning a scale system is bad or a waste of time. What I am saying is that you don't have to do that first. You can do this today. And even if you do know a scale system, this is going to multiply your licks, and it's a great technique to know. All right, so here's the trick or the method. First, you start out with any lick. It doesn't matter which lick. It could be any lick. It could be any key. We're going to illustrate this with a really simple lick in A. Here it is. All right, here it is a little more slowly. Now, the important thing is to realize what note it starts on. It works for any note that it starts on, but in this case, we started on A just to keep it really simple, okay? So we'll note that it starts on A. All right, next, noting that it started on A, we're going to find all the A's on the fretboard. Now, take as much time as you need to do this. It's important that you take your time in the beginning to make sure you get them all. Here's a neck diagram with all of the A's. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to systematically go through each A and play the lick. It might take a while to figure out the lick in each area, but that's part of the learning process. Take your time and do it, and you're going to soak in the knowledge of the fretboard as you do it. All right, now I'm going to show you the process that I went through to make sure I got everything, and I learned the neck. I'm telling you, I learned it pretty quickly. All right, so I start out by playing the lick itself. And then I'd start out by going toward the nut and find all the A's in this case, okay? So here's one right here on the E string. Now, some of the strings aren't going to work out, like on the first string or on the little E string. It's really hard to play that lick in a compact way. Just accept that. Sometimes it's not going to work if you're on the high E string or the low E string. Okay, keep going toward the nut. Here's another A right here. So I can play it like that. It's important to note that you may need to deal with the open strings. You may need to alter the lick a bit. That's okay, no problem. And you also want to note how it sounds different on different strings, because each string has a different timbre. That's going to add a lot of color to your solos as well, just kind of noticing how it sounds on different strings. All right, let's go toward the bridge now. All right, again, here's our lick. So toward the bridge, the next A is right here on the B string. And then we've got an A right here on the 12th fret of the A string. And now at the 12th fret, everything repeats. But I think you should keep going, because even though in theory everything repeats, we know as guitar players that our fingers and our ears learn the sound. So keep going up until you run out of fretboard and just let yourself enjoy it. All right, so continuing up, we've got on the G string 14th fret, another A right there. And now we've got an A on the E string at the 17th fret. At the 19th fret, we've got an A on the D string. And this has 24 frets, so I can keep going. There's another A right here at the 22nd fret. Probably won't be using that one too much, but that gives you an idea of everything that's there. See what I mean? Dead easy. And you really only have to do it for 3, 4, or 5 licks before you really get the hang of it and playing in different areas of the fretboard. You do this in a few different keys, man, you're really cooking with gas. And just to demo that this works no matter what note you start on, here's a lick that starts on a D. All right, here's the lick. Starts on that D right there on the G string 7th fret. So let's just translate it into different places. Here's a D right here. Works. Here's a D right here. Etc. Again, the beauty of this is that you don't need to memorize a full system before you start doing it. You can start it today. Now, if you are ready for a system, I highly recommend Cage, but there are a few pitfalls. Now, I recommend you look at this video because in this video, I talk about what are the most common pitfalls that people fall into and really waste a lot of their time. And you don't want to do that. So click on that video. We'll see you in that video, and we'll see you on down the road.